Pow. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to we never came up with a name for our
We don't
podcast. You
have a
realize
name. We're
this?
just gonna call it whatever we want.
I
Today
need
it's
I
the
need the
Michael Scott
people
Paper Company.
to come. I need the people out there to come up with a name for this show. We just call it the Thor Show.
The one who wins gets $100 gift card.
There you go. Yeah, best name. There you go. Yep, best name next week. Pitch us names for this podcast, this show, this live show. Whoever we pick, we'll give you $100 gift card to the
Jamie.
House of Rags. Yeah, send your ideas, drop them in the comments, send me emails, blow up Eddie, blow up the Shopify chat,
blow up Jamie.
Whatever you want to do.
Oh, Jamie up. Don't blow me up.
You just do it, all right? But also we got going on. It's Christmas time, and look at it. Look, got some new pads over there for Pam, but that's not what I want to talk about. Look here, the 8th day of Christmas is rolling on. There's 12 days of these things. Look, tomorrow's video, it's going to have that whole scene where the little girl's like, I'm tired, Grandpa, and, I don't give a dang. Back to work. Thor is working me like a dog, making these little Christmas promos every morning.
Working him like a dog. This guy went Casper today. I'm like, where's my guy at?
That's because some of us got to get back to detailing. I don't know what you doing over there.
I'm all in, fixing stuff. This guy's like, hey, you're all in, I'm all out.
Anyway, Maniac Line's 35% off for a couple more hours, so that's a heck of a deal. If you want to save big, Eddie forgot to change this to Maniac, but you know what? That's all right.
Company, bro.
It happens. Same company, yeah. Mafra, Labo,
Mafra. Not the same.
It's product. Italian, all right. Get you some Wheel and Tire Cleaner, some of the best Wheel and Tire. What else do you like from Maniac Line?
Who are you talking to me?
Who else?
I'm thinking NXTZEN.
What I be talking? Right, I'm talking to Humberto over there.
All right, where's Humberto? Go down.
Humberto, what's your favorite?
That pre-wash hit's different.
Thunder podcast. I kind of like that.
I don't know. I can't do that.
Thank you, Becca. At least someone's enjoying them. At least someone out there likes them.
This guy. Pre-wash is good. Wheel and Tire Cleaner. That spray wax. That's not really a wax. It has SiO2 in it. That one's real good.
Which one?
Spray wax.
This one?
I tested it a while ago. Yeah, when it first came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is amazing.
And Rain Dance. Rain Dance is like a 2 or 3 month sealant.
This might be the biggest sleeper in the whole store. This right here. It's literally just spritz, swipe, wipe.
I'm digging this name. You hear this name right here?
Dropping what?
Behind the bottle.
The pine.
But wait, how are you going to close the window? Open the window back up. We got some big news to drop today.
Open the window back up?
Yeah, okay, open the window back up.
Hold on, I got to type it back up. I closed it all the way.
This guy right. Missing all day.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I smell what you're stepping in over there. Hold on.
The biggest news is that I've been trying to court these men for like 9 months.
Wow.
They're telling me no. But guess what we got at the house today?
The Wombat Boys.
NXTZEN. If you're asking about Cutmaster, we'll ask the boys when they get on. But NXTZEN's on the house.
NXTZEN is in the house, except for Iron Decon.
Yeah, I don't know what happened about that.
It's coming, all right? Look.
It's coming, yeah.
Well, look, we got some super clean ZNR Plus. Real sleeper ZNR Plus. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Foam Decon. I mean, my goodness, what a soap. Prep Solvent.
Prep Solvent slaps.
I use this all day today. Prep Solvent is so good.
Shocker, right? The one that's real good is Easy Dry. Don't use a lot.
Easy Dry.
Shriek your mom, your sister, your cousin, your uncle. It'll take them to Thanksgiving. You put a lot on that panel. One spray is good enough for a panel.
And probably the best spray coating in the game right now, I think.
Easy bottle, small thing. So, that one?
You mix it yourself.
That one? Freeze it.
Freeze it out. I still got it by the meats in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's still just chilling. I got it by the ribeyes over there. It's still good to go. You keep that bad boy froze. It ain't going bad.
Got to bite the meats over there. Hi, guys. Bring the people out, bro.
So if you got your NXTZEN questions, start dropping them in the chat. Someone will star them, and then we'll have a big Q&A. But everybody in the house, we got all the way from Australia, by the way. So welcome, Joel, Australia branch.
Thank you for having me again.
Headmaster, head chemist, what director? What is your title?
Joe, what is your title?
Yeah, it's marketing development director. We call ourselves directors over here.
Nice.
I call myself a director until my wife walks in the room.
Mike G likes Stewart Jail. And then, of course, we got some real Americans in the house, everybody. All right? Look, we got Ron, and we got Andy from NXTZEN. Welcome to the cast, boys.
Ron
How y'all
looks
doing?
Like he hasn't drunk a beer today. Ron, what's up?
He's ready.
I'm not a big drinker.
Okay.
That's probably my problem.
That's Anthony's job over there.
Yeah, he's drinking
Anthony,
whiskey.
what are you drinking? What kind of whiskey are you drinking, Anthony?
This evening I have Horse Soldier.
Oh boy, that sounds.
Lord, that sounds like he'll put you to sleep. He'll put your ass right to sleep.
Horse Soldier. I ain't even heard of that one. That's some Texas stuff or what?
It's good stuff.
That whiskey is distilled by the gentleman who rode horseback in Afghanistan, went into battle on horseback. It's actually a signed model.
Is it really?
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, I just looked up the price. It costs more than my Tesla. Wait, I don't have a Tesla payment. It costs more than my house payment.
NXTZEN's doing good. Well, boys, welcome to the house. Good to have you.
Thank you for having us.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah, see, this is why SEMA is actually like it's like mandatory for us now, right? Like this wouldn't have probably got done if we wouldn't have went to SEMA, and then we just invade the people's booth. We just show up. We're like, where y'all at? What are we doing? We shake hands. NXTZEN's
First thing in the morning.
Yeah. First, no hellos. How you doing?
No,
Barely
like,
drank coffee. We're like, we're here to make deals. And
the boys in Texas really made my week because you know what? They're real American. You walk to the booth, and they're sitting around their nice table. First of all, your booth was insanely big.
Insane.
They got
The
two
NXTZEN
expensive
booth.
cars. You see the Ron, Anthony's hanging out in the corner, and then Tim's right there drinking a Bud Light. Was it a Bud Light or what was it? Budweiser?
Might have been
No.
a Mick Ultra or
I think during that show he was drinking Coors Light.
Coors Light. He comes up to me. He's like, "Y'all boys ready?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I'm ready." I already didn't even have to finish that sentence. I'm like, "Yeah, we ready." Shake my hand. I was ready. So you guys do it right. Shout out to Texas. You guys.
Shout out to Texas. NXTZEN, Texas.
Here we go.
There you go. I ain't got nothing. I drank all my coffee. Oh no, I didn't. Hold on.
Oh, this guy. He done been a ghost all day, guys. You have a teammate that's been ghost all day.
We're dropping elbows.
No, for real. I just we've been trying to get you guys for a while, so I appreciate you.
Yes.
We're stoked to carry you. The rest of the line's coming, everybody. So we do have the home line coming, except for the professional coatings. You have to go to nextzen.com and then sign up, and the Ron and the boys and Anthony will reach out to you if you qualify and things of that nature. But we'll have all the stuff normal people use, to wash your car. So we're pretty stoked to have you in the house. Right now, you can buy it on the House of Rags. Stoked.
Yeah. We fell in love with NXTZEN over the summer. Eddie, what was your first NXTZEN product you tried? And you're like, NXTZEN? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And you're like,
believe it or not, functional doctor and I.
Oh, yeah.
How it happened was Fred. Fred said to me, he took a picture because I was tired already. You know how Mike G's always like, he's in an abusive relationship. Mike G is. He'd be like, I'm done doing Rinseless Wash.
Oh, yeah.
Reviews,
Then another one pops up.
He's toxic. I was done doing Rinseless Wash reviews. I dropped my best Rinseless Wash 24. Got functional doctor came to the house. Got ZNR sitting there tested. I was like, oh, man, this thing clean.
That's right. I remember that video. Yeah, you made a video about it. Yeah. Testing ZNR. Yep. That went really well.
You should do a deep dive on YouTube and find Anthony with really long hair demonstrating rinseless wash in somebody's driveway.
Nice.
That was back in that was
Like
Dr. Tice's house back in 2008, I believe.
Wow.
2008 or 2007.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
You've been rinseless washing for a minute.
You've been rinseless washing half my life.
They weren't even good then. I mean,
Mike loves him some toxic. He's like,
that's how it goes.
Reviewing it.
That's when he thinks he's out.
He's in.
Reeling back in.
But ZNR was the product that actually, I didn't know if you guys were from Austria or Australia. And then Joel kind of trolled me and said, we're from Australia, bro. So at first, that's when I was like, oh, man, this is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
In our retail shop, we have 2 different carts, and one cart will be for traditional wash, and then every area of the shop has a rinseless cart as well.
Big banger.
Nice. So y'all mostly doing the rinseless style in y'all shop or traditional?
I didn't hear what you said.
Y'all mostly doing rinseless washing in your shop?
So, well, a lot of times they'll do a rinseless wash after they're doing, say, a PPF job or window tinting a car.
Yeah.
So the first initial wash will typically be a traditional foam cannon, and then clay it and prep it all for PPF or ceramic coating or everything, and then afterwards they'll do the general cleanup with a rinseless. If it's a we don't do a whole lot of maintenance here, washes. So we do have a few customers. So if their cars aren't that dirty, then the guys will do a rinseless wash on them.
Nice.
I like Eddie. Is it you that's got the hybrid system, like that you use you go both foam and then you do the rinseless after?
Mhm.
I like that. I do something similar actually. I think it's a good way to do things.
Oh, it's a great way to do things.
Now I just go through the car wash.
He just gave up.
I gave up on all of it. I don't care anymore. I'm like, don't
You
care.
just
The coating lasts
grind that
tonight.
dirt off. Yeah.
I just go in, I full sand. It could be like push a button for. No, I'm kidding. I don't go to a car wash. My wife will stab me in my sleep. I have to scratch her car.
That's funny. So we got Joel in Australia. He's the Australian branch. Then we got the NXTZEN Texas team. So let's dive a little bit into the Texas team. It's the first time us talking to y'all on the internet. What's y'all set up in Texas? What shop are y'all? That kind of deal. Why NXTZEN?
Oh, that's a good question. All 4 of them.
Yep.
I can't hear you.
Does Ron need me to restart?
No, Ron's sleeping. Ron, no one can hear you. What happened?
Your Ron mic's broke.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Why NXTZEN at our shop?
Let's start with your shop in general. How'd that come
Okay.
about? How many years y'all been doing it?
Oh gosh. So the shop came about in 2008. We're still in the same location, so we haven't moved around. We've grown. We've taken over a big footprint in our complex. We have about 8,000 square feet. But the shop became to fruition because it just, I mean, in the summertime, it's bloody hot here. And in the wintertime, for us, it's cold. I mean, it gets down in the 30s and the 40s. So for me, it was just being tired of being mobile, being out on a blacktop parking lot or in somebody's driveway, not having a bathroom available. And a lot of the things that we do here now, we would just refer people to. And as Anthony likes to put it, this is our shop is like a salon for your car. We didn't want to have to refer something to somebody and have them have a bad experience. We wanted them to do everything with us. So it's had its ups and downs over the years, but we've stood the test of time. And prior to that, I was mobile. Anthony was mobile. Anthony started in 92. I started in 97. Both as mobile detail.
Wow.
Mobile detailers, yeah.
So what was mobile like?
Now you use Dawn dish soap. At 97, you're using wild. I don't even think they had soap in 97. What were you using? I'm excited.
I'll tell you that the detailers today,
we got it good, dude.
You guys are like spoiled.
Oh yeah.
All we had was like a rotary. And then you had the gem orbital polishers, were like just these cast iron skillets with a big 12-inch pad. So all we had were wool pads and terry cloth elastic that we would put on those gem orbitals. So no internet. We couldn't go to the internet and go, what's the best wax for such and such? Paste wax.
You guys were it was like that guy who ran the mile in 4 minutes and he became the barrier breaker. Like everyone started doing it after him, right? It was never heard of. It was never heard of.
Yeah. Never heard of. They set the record, and then once the record's been broke, it happens more often and propels us to where we are today. I got what you're saying.
Yeah. And then when the internet came out, it had a few forums like Detail
Auto
Sticky,
Geek,
Octopia, Auto Geek, and then it just started picking up from there. Manufacturers, like McGuire's and places like that, they started really getting into things, and boom, boom, boom. Here we are today. There's like specific polishers now, specific polishing pads. I mean,
yeah, we're spoiled, dude. I'm talking about
90,000 systems.
You could get whatever soap you want, whenever you want, however you want it. Dude, you're right, man. The industry has changed. We're so blessed, as I see it. You probably see it like we're a bunch of pompous pricks, but I'm thinking like we're so blessed. in the era of detailing now that we could unite the world. We could get anything we want from everywhere. It's kind of cool, actually.
Yep.
Not for you, because you had to suck in the, you sucked it up in back in the day.
Yeah.
Water spot. You didn't have water spot remover.
Ron got a gray beard for a reason, all right?
Yeah, dude.
So Ron, your setup. How was your setup in the early days?
So I had my first vehicle was a Ford Ranger. I had a 30-gallon water tank. We used to just take water straight out of the faucet. Over time, I switched that to a trailer and had a 100-gallon tank. In Southern California, mobile detailing was kind of taking off. So there was a place called Ronco Plastics that you could go pick up a 100-gallon tank from, and they're still in business today. And so I strapped that to a trailer, and then I found a place that would rent you the DI water tank. So I had on each side of my trailer, each side of that 100-gallon tank, I had these 2 missiles strapped, and I would just get spot-free water from anywhere. And then I had a gas-powered pressure washer and a gas-powered generator. And
man, you were peeling paint. You were doing all kinds of
stuff. I had a hot water, or not hot water, but I had a cold water carpet extractor. And my favorite polisher ever, which was stolen, was a Black & Decker rotary that was a variable speed.
Nice.
So those are what we use, and I really kind of, you learned just, by trial and error, and what your suppliers would tell you, oh, this is great, or this is great. And there was a guy that I used to go to that sold Pro products. I don't know, Pro's still around, I think. And then there was a couple of private blenders that made products. But the most I learned from a guy who painted Jaguars, and he had a polishing class. And so he was using this 3M product, and you could he taught us how to wet sand cars, and then we would polish with a wool pad and take out all the wet sandy scratches, and then come back with a 3M waffle pad and polish that. And then we would buy grout sponges from Home Depot, and we'd use that same polish on a grout sponge, and then go and hand rub everything out for the final finish before we put a wax on it. So those are the early days. And I remember when Meguiar's came out with their pads for the Porter cable, and the technology wasn't there quite yet for it. I used to tear those pads up within half a car, and I'd call Meguiar's customer service and complain, and they'd say, "Well, take it back, and we'll tell them to give you a refund." And they'd say, "Oh, you're not supposed to wash the pads." And I'm like, "Well, what am I supposed to do with all this stuff that's caked up in it?" And I thought at the time, I thought it was going to be a game changer, but really it was just a glorified machine that you could wax a car with.
Yeah. Dang, dude, you lived the hard knock life. I'm thinking about what you guys are saying. It's kind of insane to me because when I started detailing, O&R was a special. O&R was the rinseless, right? And then you had the soap of choice, man. I think it was Adams. I was using like an old Adams shampoo or the and then I bought Coach Kemi stuff when it hit the state. Like, we had it good. Like, hearing your guys' horror stories, I don't think no one would be detailing back in it. I don't think there would be a new detailer coming out once a week.
Exactly. Yeah.
If they lived your life back in the day,
you had to
be all in. You had to be
all in. Yep.
So get this. So before the whole rinseless stuff started, back in California, we had a lot of water shortages. So what I had to do was I had to develop a program where I visited my customers 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I would quick detail their cars down rather than using water. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I was just hustling around through all these locations, going through tons of terry cloth towels, terry cloth, like hand towels.
Yeah.
Oh man, and that was the days. But yeah, I would go there, quick detail the cars down, vacuum them, do the windows, all that stuff, way before this no rinse stuff started.
Yeah, that's wild. I bet the quick detailer was probably like a speed hack back then, like the rinseless is now. What was y'all's like? This is it. Like, it doesn't get better than this product in the early days. Did y'all think there was a pinnacle back then, or did y'all always think we're gonna advance?
Yeah, what was like, oh my Lord, this is like touched by God.
Working on the paints that we had back then, a lot of them were single stage. So really the two products that I fell to a great deal were Meguiar's number 7. And well, there was Meguiar's 3 and then Meguiar's 6. And we actually used to add a little bit of cornstarch to the Meguiar's 7 because it would give you a little cut.
Dang.
Man, you guys are living different times. Like
Anthony was on that Cutmaster stuff early on. Like, he's been waiting on Cutmaster a long time.
Yeah.
Lord, I'm hearing your stories and I'm sitting here like thinking the good Lord that I was born in a different time.
We wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it. So Ron, what was your pinnacle product in the early days?
I don't know. I think back to Manzurna, and I can't remember which. Anthony might remember which Manzurna product, but it was kind of a charcoal gray color, and you could do a lot with it. It was similar to the 3M product that was back in that day. And you could cut with it, you could polish with it, you could finish polish with it. In fact, Anthony went on a forum and said that it swells paint and caused a whole big ruckus on Autopia, which it was true. It had some kind of petroleum in it that would swell the paint.
Oh wow!
And give you a false, a false
direction.
reading.
Yeah, it would swell back down, and all would come back.
But it did everything that you would want it to do. It was a great product. And
I think that was 106 FF. Was it 106?
I think that was what it was.
I remember.
And Optimum at the time had a polish that was pretty good. His original polish was pretty revolutionary. The problem is if you let it sit on your shelf for longer than 6 months, it would actually mold and smell like dirty feet.
Dang.
Joe probably remembers that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Joe, it smelled horrible.
Joe, you're from a different country altogether, right? So these two men are pioneers. Like, what was your banger chemical that you used when you first started? You're like, oh my Lord, this is it.
Oh man, the thing that brought me to, so I bought my first nice car. It was 2007, and a guy that I worked with at the time is like, oh, there's this brand called Zymel, and they've got these crazy waxes, and we can buy it online, and it's imported from the States, and it cost it was hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this kit that they had and I think they call their waxes a glaze, and so anyway, that's actually sort of where my story begins, because it was so difficult to actually get my hands on that product, and products in general. There's not a lot of stuff that's actually manufactured here. We import a lot of our gear, and everyone loved the USA brands, but it was just so hard to actually get our hands on. And so it was Zymel that sort of introduced me to the detailing industry, and the fact that I couldn't purchase it or purchase other products, that's sort of got us importing in 2008, and so that's where we started out importing products from the States.
Nice. So going from the mobile detail with our two Americans, when do y'all come together? When does that happen?
Yeah, when do you three come together? Like, he's in Texas, he's in Texas.
I'm guessing the Americans come together first, make a shop.
Yeah, so
then they find this wombat.
So 2004. Well, I'm going to backtrack. So 2003, I was living in Southern California. I was born and raised in Southern California. And my father-in-law developed a brain tumor, and he wanted us all to move to Texas and everything. And so it was a terminal brain tumor. So I think it was January or February. My wife and I flew into San Antonio to go look at a piece of property that we owned north of San Antonio with my in-laws. And so we went up there and spent 2 or 3 days, saw the property, just trying to figure out if this is where we wanted to be. And I just snatched a phone book when I was in San Antonio and took it back and started calling detailers saying, hey, I'm probably going to be moving here. And some of the businesses were didn't answer. Some of them were out of business. Anthony actually answered, And so he and I talked for a while, and he says, when you get ready to move here, hit me up. And then I don't know, 2 or 3 months later, he calls me out of the blue. Hey, when you coming? I got a lot of work to do here.
It's coming up over here. I need
I'm
some
like,
help.
well, I said, I think, my father-in-law passed away. I think we're going to be moving in July.
That's sad. Sorry about that.
No, thank you. And so we literally moved here July 4th weekend of 2004. And I had, contacted Anthony. He says, I'll come by, on this day, and I'll, show you around, and, we'll get a hamburger or something like that. So I'm, at this house that we were renting, we just moved here, and I'm, I'm thinking he's going to show up at 8. And I'm like waiting around 8 and 9 o'clock and looking out the window. And probably about 11:30, 12 o'clock, I see this guy pull up in a gray Ford Ranger with super long hair, and I was like, "Who the hell is that?" I was like, "That Howard Stern, freaking guy from the '80s, rock star." And Anthony comes strolling up. I'm not kidding you. He had hair down to his waist. And he introduced himself, and we took off, and he kind of showed me around where he worked. He worked over here in the medical center doing work for doctors in a parking structure. And we went, and I think I had my first Whataburger that day. And, so it was, that's how Anthony and I came together, and Anthony helped me out, and the move here was really hard financially. I mean, within the first 6 months, I was broke. He would, if he had extra work, or if he could, afford to have me around on a job, he'd bring me around. I'd like the little tag along guy. And then 2000, so I had a little tiny shop. It had a tin roof on it that if the wind blew, it would pick it up. I was renting it from a body shop, and I used to do all the wet sanding and compounding and polishing for a body shop. And then he also owned a little kind of a jalopy car dealership, so I detail those cars. And I guess it was about the winter time of 2008. I just didn't want to be there anymore. I was losing my identity. I was getting absorbed into their shop, and so I just told him, I said, hey, I'm not gonna, at this time, I'm not gonna be here anymore. I'll give you time to find somebody to do all this work. I said, but I'm just going to step away from detailing, because I also do paintless dent repair, and I just wanted to focus on that. And
dang, I got a bunch of goats in chat.
So there was a big hailstorm in Austin, 2008, spring of 2008. So I went up there and worked for about a month, and made a shit ton of money, and came back and I wanted to open a shop. And where we're at now, I told Anthony, I said, hey, we should look at opening up a shop. And so we came back to this facility, and the building was still available. And
I feel like Anthony was like, nah, man, living the lone wolf life. I feel like
we were honestly, I mean, the rent was like $1,200 a month at the time, and we were scared to death. And and Anthony's like, well, Obama's going to be in office. We're getting ready to go into recession. And I was like, I said, we can make excuses all day long. I said, let's just do it, And so we opened the shop, and he shared a picture with me a couple weeks ago of, it was probably within the first 3 months we were there, and we had stuff spread out all on the floor. We didn't have shelves yet, but bins of towels and leaves all over the floor. It was, and there's,
what a story, bro.
What a story.
No AC.
Wow.
So it was that's kind of how we came together, and then back then it was the big thing was OptiCoat, and Anthony was really vocal on the forums about OptiCoat, and Joel came on board as a distributor for them in Australia. And I think we met Joel at SEMA, and when we left off the kind of the whole OptiCoat scene, I think it was after 2012, and they just kept changing the formula, and I didn't think it was as durable as it was back, when it was, first launched. And Joel would say, oh, they've made changes, come on back. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Joel trying to reel you
and
back.
Joe has that swag too. Joe's like, hey guys, Yeah, I can see it. I can see it happening, Joel. You know what I'm saying? Hey guys, come guys. Like in his accent. I'd be like, yeah, I'll come back to you, Poppy.
So these are early days of coatings.
Yeah,
like what's the
Well,
installation process
You
like?
know, the whole coding thing
Mhm.
got underway when Ron and I went out with Dr. G to Dallas. We spent a couple of days out there with him with his new polishing system, and we were training the people that work on the truck line there. I forget what truck plant it is there.
It was a GM plant up in Arlington, and this is like 2005.
Yeah, so this was 2004, 2005, and we're having lunch, and I said to Dr. G, I said, you know, you got waxes, polymer sealants, all great, but I want something that coats the paint, you know, and I couldn't think of a name for it. I just called it coating. And he said,
Pretty straightforward. Yep.
He said that there's some new resins and stuff coming out of Asia. He's going to grab them. And well, at that time we called it Product X on the forums.
Wow.
And I got trashed, man. Let me tell you, because I went on there and said, hey, I'm working on something with a paint chemist. It's going to last over a year, maybe. You know that.
Lord, you say that, and this was in 2004, right?
Yeah.
2005.
Wow.
2005. Yeah.
I got banned. I got called all kinds of names.
Mike banned you. Where's Mike G at?
Yeah.
Where's Mike G at? I bet he was there. Where's Mike G?
You know, Joel really got a hold of it and did all the branding stuff. It was, you know, really good. Joel's got like a freaking freak eye for that kind of stuff. Well, the NXTZEN stuff looks so good.
Tell. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how all of this started, you know, and it was, you know, so we look back and we go, oh, that's kind of when it all started.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, you know, there's just great coatings. There's awesome products out there. Once again, you detailers today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you put me in that category. You pointed at me. I felt that in myself. But you can't point. Don't be pointing your finger at me, Anthony, right? Because
you guys got it good.
I'm a princess. When it comes to detailing, I'm a princess. I got it all.
Even microfiber towels.
Amen.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean,
yes.
Yes.
You guys were using diapers.
Ago, there was a lady. Her name was Irene Bernardo, and she had a website called Top of the Line. And I was like her official tester. So she would send me all kinds of stuff. And she goes, oh, you got to try these new towels. And so she sent me a couple of microfiber towels. And I was like, oh, these are definitely different. And super expensive at the time. They were like $8 or $9 a piece, you know, for a little towel. But yeah, all of these changes come in, and then it changes the way the detailers operate. And truly the customer is benefiting from all of it. You know,
can you say that again? So are you saying good time? I need you to market us for a second. Okay. I've been marketing NXTZEN, gosh darn it, for like 3 weeks. Can you say it again? Good towels are essential to a good business, right? Let me hear you say it.
Oh yeah. Definitely a very, very essential thing. So like when new people who are just getting into coatings, they say, hey, the coating worked great for like these 1-2 panels. The first question I'll ask them is like, well, how many towels are you using? Mm-hmm. Well, I got 2 towels. Well, nice. Those 2 towels,
4 or 5 for a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Those towels are going to load up really quick.
They're shot.
Then you're going to start. Yeah. So you're going to go through a bunch of towels, but the towels, you know, just the way microfiber works is amazing, you know. And I thought the Egyptian Pima cotton and diapers were the way to go way back then.
It's a good thing you didn't invest in the diapers.
So real quick,
let me back up too. So Anthony was talking about that the initial testing of that coating. I mean, those tests went on for a couple of years, and we didn't know how to put it on. We didn't know how to put it on a car. We didn't know how to take it off of a car. You know, Anthony and I would look at each other. Well, how are we going to do this? And he'd like, well, we were using those blue shop towels, those disposable shop towels.
Wow.
And we're folding them up and putting it on that.
You
and wiping it
scratched
on
the car, my mom, bro. You marred that paint all the way to Christmas.
I can remember one time we were still mobile. We were at the Porsche dealership, and so Anthony's like, "Hey, let's test the coating this whole car." So we coated the whole car, and then came back the next day and looked at it, and it was just high spotted everywhere. And I mean, what we were getting sent back then had I don't know if it was high solids or what, but we had to polish the whole car completely back out to get it all off. And so Anthony is probably the one that figured everything out, by the time it launched in 2008. And
we're working with legends here. So let me ask you a question then.
So when people call us and they ask us about a coating or ask us about applying a coating, we didn't, it's not something that we just started doing a week ago or a month ago.
Y'all were there.
Yeah, in its infancy.
That's nuts.
So where do you go from here? So I don't know what questions my dude had to the left, but I'm gonna ask this because I'm intrigued.
I ain't got no questions.
So you two are
just
essentially best friends, own a business together for a long time, right? Where the heck did NXTZEN come in Joel in the picture, and I didn't end up in Texas? I guess that's a Joel question. Like, what happened? Like, where did NXTZEN come up?
I'll give a brief. So I was pretty much fed up with coatings, and we were just going to go. It's like, you know what? Let's go back to freaking wax.
Amen.
So what? Why was it? They just too hard?
Yeah, you're getting hard water spots. The high spots were just they're for a business.
Mm-hmm.
When you like complete a car and you coat it and you go, okay, it looks pretty good, and then you take it out in the sun, you look at it, and there's a high spot. Well, that's another hour to 2 hours back in the shop chasing the high spots. So it just got to be the point where it was like, this really isn't anything worth it. And then right about that time, Joel was like, hey, mates,
I got an idea.
I got something I want you guys to, I want your opinion on, and so on and so on. And sent it to us, tried it. And we were just like, man, this stuff's great. It went on great. There was no high spots.
It wasn't that easy. It definitely wasn't that easy. I had to,
I'm giving the Reader's Digest condensed version.
Yeah.
Was this the face he gave you?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And I just said, hey man, this stuff's great. Where do we get more? And he's like, I can't get in the States, mate. And shortly after that, NXTZEN USA was born. We just said,
wow,
let's do it. So
it took about a year.
Yeah, it was at least a year of courting, I think, before these guys. But that they took their time to test the product, and I guess that's the thing with this kind of product, or with coatings in general. It takes a while to actually see, the differences between one product and another, and the higher quality the products are, then the longer it takes to actually see those differences. So, it was like Ron said, we'd known each other for a long time, and we met through our other. Actually, once again through SEMA, we were talking about that before the show. It was this is another SEMA relationship, between me and the guys, and the backstory with us is that I'll give you the short version, is that the business advice we received from at the time around 2017 was that we need to diversify, and as I mentioned, we were an importer of products, mainly from the US, and we then decided to invest in R&D, and then now we've switched to an export company. So it's been a whirlwind ride with the guys in the US, and now here we are with Thor. It's great.
Well, that's insane.
I'm super pumped now.
Your story's freaking sick. It's like I feel like I'm watching the Discovery Channel and how it all started.
Mm-hmm.
So you all worked with the same coatings 2008.
Yeah.
You all decided F this 2012. And then
2017.
2017, you're like, F this. Ron's like, I'm going back to PPF. Anthony's like, I hate everybody. Joel is like, I'll be back. And Joe, you just decided one day I'm gonna start a company. Like, how did you find your chemist? How did you create your first sample? Like, how do you do this to help these two men who started product lines before be like, we're in?
Yeah, so even down to the name, the name NXTZEN, it actually has some meaning behind it. So the word Zen is the word we came up with when we first started the company. Zen Automotive Suppliers, that was our importing company. And then when we transitioned into the business we are now, I was like, what are we going to call this brand? And I sort of felt like it was like a fork in the road, and it was like the next chapter of our journey, if you want to use that term. So next is literally the word next, and NXTZEN. So it's like the next version of Zen. So that's how we came up with the name. And at the time, I had a contract chemist that we were working with to get the initial formulation set up. So we worked with them for a couple of years to get the first formulations. And yeah, I think we've had this conversation before. It was perfect timing to release the brand just in time for COVID. So that didn't go too well. It was very much a soft launch, but over that couple of years of COVID and dealing with that, then we got a lot of feedback. Our first coatings weren't too easy for the guys to deal with the pro guys to install. So we then really worked to find new materials to improve that. And that's when we came in contact with Dion. We reached out. We're looking to employ someone to really take us to the next level, and that's where Dion comes in now. And Dion, I guess if one day we have a talk with Dion, we get him on here. He's probably got a similar story. He's of the same vintage as these guys when it comes to chemistry. He's been around and worked in a lot of industries.
1997, Joe, Pokemon came out to the United States. These men were sweating their ass off outside trying to
being handed a Game Boy, and I'm just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, so Pokemon came out to the U.S. These two men are outside trying to avoid water spots. That's insane.
Yeah.
Here in Texas, we're trying to avoid a heat stroke.
That's insane. Wow. Well, if you're not, I mean, we got the origins here of ceramic coating. So what else you need to know about NXTZEN? But what does separate yourself, Joel? You saw the origins. Y'all lived through it. You did the one company for a long time. Then you start NXTZEN. So what was your mindset in starting a ceramic coating company and starting with that original coating? What was going to set y'all apart?
Yeah, you got to come in strong, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we definitely had an advantage from the experience that we gained over 8 or 9 years and coating tens of thousands of cars.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys, they sort of started to touch on that. One of the biggest issues that we had here with coatings was water spotting and just general contamination issues of surface becoming contaminated and hydrophilic and losing that hydrophobic effect. So back in the day, everyone just thought, the coating's failing, it's not lasting, it's wearing off. And it was a big issue for business owners. It's big issues for an importer, and even bigger issue for all the guys applying it with, the after sales service that they had to provide and just the lost hours and revenue in dealing with these problems that would pop up. And look, mostly it is a maintenance issue, but it gets to a point, and I guess this is my main point of the whole situation is that it gets to a point where we're supposed to make our customers' lives easier with these products, right? That's other than the protection side of things. The whole point of the product and the service that we're providing is to make their lives easier. The people that have the disposable income to purchase these services, they're mainly middle-aged professionals.
It's a luxury, right, Joe? Like
it's a luxury. That's
a
right.
luxury.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my gosh, gotta coat my car. It's gonna help me stay healthier. No, it doesn't. It's a luxury item.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So that our goal, right from the outset, was that we need to make these customers, their life needs to be easier. That we need to solve this water spotting issue. We need to make it so that the general person that maybe they don't wash their car every week. I certainly don't wash my car every week. I wish I had the time. So yeah, we that was basically the criteria when we consulted the chemist, was that okay, other than the product needs to be durable, it needs to have a super high chemical resistance. We can't have these problems popping up, left, right, and center. And so yeah, if I was to say what sets us apart, definitely our customers notice the anti-contamination effect, and that goes across our pro coatings and our consumer coatings 365 Pro. People are going to notice that less contamination, longer hydrophobic effect, that's it's going to last due to the lack of contamination, and the anti-water spotting effect. If I'm okay to toot my own horn, is superior to other products on the market. So and that all comes from our history, I guess, and our experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you've been detailing the two bottom guys since I was like 4.
They've seen it all.
Yeah.
They've detailed. They burnt lacquer. They're the only people who can say they've ever burnt lacquer paint.
Yeah. So from Anthony and Ron's perspective, you hear all that. So what was y'all's early days testing, this new NXTZEN stuff? What had to stand apart and go to the next level in y'all's opinion?
Well, so at the shop, when we stopped using the OptiCoat products, we tried a bunch of other ceramic offerings out there. We ended up with one of the big name brand ones, and it wasn't sure if it was going to work, but they worked really well as far as protecting. But it's a coating that's so rock hard, and it's so susceptible to water spotting. We always encourage customers and send them reminders to have them come back once a year for what we call an annual service. So every week we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars come through for annual service.
And you're losing money because you're only charging $100 for the service, or do you do it for free?
No, we charge for it. We charge them for it. So, but seeing all the issues with water spotting and things on it's always just on the top surfaces. It's not on the sides of the cars. The rest, everything would be holding up, but it'd always be water spotted. Now that we've been offering the NXTZEN products in our retail location, you don't see the water spotting issues anymore. And the 5-year coating that we were using was a 2-layer system. We can do a 5-year coating with 1 layer if we want, and still get the same results, but we don't have the water spotting issues. And I had a real life experience with it the other day. So there was an Audi R8 that came through 2 or 3 months ago. We did a paint correction on it, looked great. We did the Elite on it, the Elite coating. So the customer comes by this week. He had taken it to the car wash, and he says, "Hey, I want to show you something." So I go out there and look, and he's got these just random splatters on his hood that looked like it ate through the clear coat. Yeah, but you couldn't feel any crackling or anything, but it was there. I said, "Well, let me have your keys. I want to take it downstairs and see, if these will come out." So I took it downstairs, grabbed a polisher and some polish, and hit a couple of the spots, and they came out it took a little effort, but essentially what we were just removing was the coating. The coating did its job. And so fixed all that, reapplied the Elite all over his hood, and then took it back up to him, and he says, "What was it?" I said, "I have no idea," but I said, "The coating of this job," I said, "it's resistant up to pH 14, so whatever it was on the, up in that level to where it would eat this, start to eat the coating away." And but he was completely happy, and I also shared a video with our private NXTZEN group this week of a truck that came in just trashed, and he wanted to pre-wash it before he brought it in for his annual service. I said, "No," I said, "I want to see how you take care of your truck." I said, "It helps me to know if my products are working." And so I took some video of the truck when the guys were washing it, and as soon as it got the 3 or 4 months worth of dirt off the side of it, it was a white truck. It was like we put the coating on maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just everything, all the water was just beating up and falling right off the car.
Beautiful, and that's what you want. Results.
Yeah. And I mean, every single day, all these products are real world tested in the shop. And if we see something that's wrong, hey, call Joel. "Hey, Joel, what the hell is this shit?"
Call Joel. Yeah,
I did that. So let me ask you guys. I don't know if you got another question, Jay, but I had one that I wanted to piggyback on what you were talking about. You have your line of professional products, right? Going down from Elite, GSO to a leather coating, glass coating, and then you have another one that's a middle ground. I think it's your 3-year. I don't know what it's called. Pro, I think.
Here, let me pull them up.
The customer wants to know, because I'm going to be a customer, we want to sell it, is when are you going to make stuff for the consumer that's not a sprayable coating?
Yeah, so y'all, they went the opposite. They did all these professional coatings and certified and that kind of deal. So, what is up with that?
When are you going to get us one for the people?
Actually, we do have one, but the issue that we have is that it's not California compliant. So, we're actually looking to reformulate that for the US market. We need to make some tweaks to make that work with a different solvent. But certainly that's something that's on the near horizon that we're going to work with to make sure we get, to meet that. I think I know what you're getting at, that somewhere in the middle of a pro coating and the
how do you make them like, okay, so say they're a professional detailer, but they don't want to be all in yet. Like, how Ron and Anthony, before they said yes, they were like, we got to test it first. They probably tested for like half a year. They washed the cars with their stuff. They tested your coatings. Like they already know it's good. How do you bridge the gap between a detailer wanting to say I'm all in a pro versus saying, I got to go buy this to try it? If they tried a regular coating, they could be like, Lord, yeah, if this is the regular one, then the Elite stuff is going to be insane.
I'm guessing this started to bridge the gap for NXTZEN with the consumer market.
That's the gateway coating.
Well, I mean, Mike, I'll throw a question back at you guys. Why, if 365 Pro is such a great product and it's so easy to use, and most car guys are out there, rubbing on their car every weekend or every other weekend, why would you want to mess with anything else? This is so easy to miss,
and probably recoat once a year, right? Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, if I wasn't in this, if I wasn't in this business and this was available to me, I'd probably be putting it on like every month. It's so easy to use and it's so slick. So, and at 70, what's it, $70 a bottle?
It does 15 cars, right?
Yeah, that can will do 10 to 15 cars. So it's cost effective. It freaking works. It's easier than waxing a car.
And, Mike says the best. We want what we can't get, so
that's
it's kind of like
we want it all, Ron.
Right?
We want it all.
And then, but some people see it as it's 12 months, right? Remember, this is America. Gosh darn it! People are like, "Well, if it was a 3-year, I'll buy it." You know how you ever heard that? Like, if it was a 5-year, I'll buy it. But we all know it's not lasting 5 years. I don't care what you say, right? Unless you take good care of it.
So if people out there don't know how, I mean, NXTZEN has spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the last year and a half giving away free coatings. They've so much so that they've worn Anthony out. They've worn Anthony's wife out. Going to the post office, because if you go to our website and you want to be a pro and you're a pro and you're a pro business, you sign up. You send us it'll message you and Anthony will get with you and let us know that you're professional. And when we we're constantly getting new samples in stock, but we send out samples all the time. So you might get in a package, you'll get, this will be just one of the samples of 365 Pro. It's in a little metal bottle. It'll probably do 4 or 5 cars with this. You get in our Pro packs, you get these. Well, this is essential oils, but you get you get a 10 milliliter bottle this size of Elite. You'll get a 10 milliliter bottle of graphene serum.
Smells like lavender.
Yeah, this is special for when Anthony gets on my nerves. So you'll get if you show us that you're a pro shop or you're a pro mobile detailer, and you want to try a free sample, again, I mean, I couldn't tell you how much money NXTZEN has spent. I mean, we've given out more free coatings than any other coating company.
And you know what's messed up? Some people don't even come back. They'll just take the free coating.
Oh, yeah.
They don't. I mean, there was a text exchange that I was reading this week, and this person's like, well, can you send me the free sample? Because my buddy does detailing, and I want him to put it on my car, and if he likes it, he'll start putting it on his customer's car.
Oh, yeah.
And people get butthurt over free. Some guy said, "Oh, it was only enough to do my mirrors on my car." I'm like, dude, that's like 10 mils. You could do an entire Porsche with that bottle.
That's a big ass mirror.
Yeah.
If you think of it, that's a mirror. That's a massive mirror, dude. You sent me a little bottle of GSO. I did almost half a truck.
I'm about to say these NXTZEN coatings stretch out, so I could probably get around.
Yeah, and
several vehicles.
That's one of the things that I get a lot. Like people get the samples and then they'll send me an email or something. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? A door?
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, that'll do an entire car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, no, my coating, my former coating, 30 mils will do a car. I was like, well, you're using the wrong coating.
Yep. So
some coating companies will sell you a bottle this size, and they'll tell you have to use the whole bottle on the car. And it's like, I mean,
30 mils.
Why? You're not getting this whole bottle on a car. Trust me. I mean, you're wiping 90% of this away.
Mm-hmm.
We got questions in chat for you guys, and I know we're coming up to the hour.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Cutmaster. Look, we have ceramic coatings on.
Bro, all I do, your guys' history was insane. Like all three of you have been around the block. Like not saying that you're smeezes, but you all three have been around the block.
I still have whip marks on my back.
Lord.
But I think we're bridging the gap now with NXTZEN. It wasn't talked about too much because y'all have been behind that certification wall. Y'all had the professional coatings for so long. And now, with 365, I think there's a consumer coating coming down the line. We saw it SEMA. Cutmaster's coming out. So
Cutmaster is
we're bridging the gap now. And I think it's time for NXTZEN to step up and step out.
Their Cutmaster. I made a video. It's coming when we watch it. I used it on a Ford. The Ford was beat up. I used the red one, the medium cut. It slapped. I used it on trim glass, everything. Didn't stain the trim. It felt glorious. It gave you a lot of work time. At first, I was like, "This is filling." Anthony, when I tried it with you in person, I went back home and you guys sent me the kit. I was like, "This is filling in the cracks." That's what I thought. I thought you guys are honey dicking the whole internet with this. And then I sprayed it with like 4 different panel preps, and it didn't fill. It actually cut, and it actually gave back a great gloss. Then I tried it on GM black paint because that's the real test.
That's the real test.
God's work.
So Joel told me about Cutmaster before SEMA 2023, and it was just when he was telling me about it, I just kind of looked at him like, who's gonna buy it?
It glazed over.
Yeah,
glazed over.
I was.
It's very ambitious to. Just like 365 Pro, you send in 2 little bottles, you got to mix them up. I mean, that's already like over a big portion.
No, but what it does is, but for real, people get weird, right? I got to mix my own chemical. I'm dude, mix it, spray it, use it, you'll love it. But then Cutmaster, I was the same way. I was like, why in the world would I do this? I look like a cokehead. I got white powder all over my hand. And then what I did was I realized it took 3 ounces to cut the truck. I didn't waste any product.
Yeah. So you can mix up what you need for that job. use it, and then that mix up the next one. But like 365 Pro, what I'm coming to realize is you do a little extra work, you get a better result, better product overall. So Joel, what is the Cut Master? Where did that come from? What's up with this?
Yeah, so actually, in my opinion, the compound and polish segment in the detailing product industry is one of the most competitive out there, and for a reseller, it's actually a bit of a nightmare. Like we stocked so many different brands of compounds when we're in that business, and it's one person says they love this product and the next person says it's trash, and it's everyone has their own opinion and their own style and their own preference, and not every single product is going to work how everyone likes it. So
it's also based on the environment too. So everybody's environment is different. Eddie, it might be 40 and 0% humidity where you're at right now, where South Texas it might be 70 degrees and we're at 80% humidity in the wintertime at times. So all those variables change how your polishes react or your compounds react. So
instead of that's why we have so many in our shelf, instead of trying to figure out test spot, see which one on any given day is gonna work the best, that kind of deal. You mix a little of this, put a little this in there.
What separated it, Jamie, was that I used the medium cut. I did the 2 scoops for the 3 ounces, and look, the instructions, because at first I was like, I don't know how to do this. I forgot what Anthony said in person, but in the back of the bottle, it says 2 even scoops in it.
Yeah.
I needed a little more bite. So instead of grabbing the cut compound and going in, cutting it, and then having to finish it with something else, I just added a little half scoop of the medium in there. Got a little more bite, but it also still finished down real nice.
Exactly right. Yeah. So that's the whole idea behind it. We kept the dry abrasive separate from the liquid, and it's completely customizable depending on what the situation is, what the paint is that you're dealing with, and what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day. So it was a bit of a crazy idea at the time, and Ron wasn't impressed with it, but I guess it's aged pretty well, and here we are. So
I'll divert to Anthony, because Anthony is the master of polishing, and back in the day he would have 10, 15, 20 different bottles of polishes, compounds and glazes, whatever, and literally you can just take and just throw that all in the trash, and then you have your Cut Master system and maybe some extra bottles to get different variations of it. But it's he really helped Joel accelerate all the testing on it, and I'm actually really impressed by it. So
nice.
With the emulsion that Anthony had me do, and we're done talking. I got questions. I gotta go take my wife to a date. All right, the emulsion part was the thing that blew my mind. You know what it reminded me of? I think Opti spray polish was so amazing. That's what it reminded me of. Like, just not that you copied that. If you did, they say that flattery is flat. What is it? That flattery is.
We don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's some quote I read a long time ago.
It's the sincerest form of flattery.
There you go.
Yeah, it's copying it, right? So I thought the emulsion sprayed on the panel, and then we got that gloss that was just insane. Because we cut the BMW at SEMA, and we did the 3-step, but then we just did the emulsion on the other side. I don't know if you remember that, Anthony, or not. I have elephant memory. I look like one. Got a memory like elephant. Just the gloss it gave was insane.
Yeah, and if you want to see that demo, just posted it on our YouTube channel. So go over there, check it out, give it a like, smash that thumbs up, drop a comment. Eddie trying it for the first time, so it was a pretty fun demo.
That BMW was hammered in Vegas too. When Joel and I picked it up, I was like, this is our demo car. And then the night that we took it back, I had to stop and fill it up, and I'm in the gas station. You know how the gas station lights show all the defects?
Everything, yep.
And Joel's in the car, it's cold, he's texting, and I was like, get out of the car. He's like, what's up, mate? And I said, get out and look at this car. Then he gets out and we're walking around. I was like, this car looks freaking badass now.
Took all SEMA week, but yep.
Yeah, because way back when, I would always mix stuff like Meguiar's 3 with Meguiar 6, or just like I told you about the cornstarch.
Yep.
Hey, here's a little tip for you guys. When you guys are polishing aluminum, add a little cornstarch. You'll thank me later.
No, you add it to the towel when you're wiping the polish off.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Only you had to be in the game when Pokemon come out to understand that. Right? No one in their right mind would have came up with that. Let's go through the questions real quick.
Salt base some cornstarch on that mug.
But yeah,
Right, David
being
Boyce.
a mixologist is just something that detailers do.
Yeah. Yep.
What's the first thing typically when you get a product? Well, you open it and you smell it.
Yes,
right?
give it a sniff. Yeah.
Yeah, you give it the sniff test, which probably shouldn't be done on some coatings because that'll knock you out. But just figuring out what is and what isn't, and that's what makes the Cut Master so awesome. And discovering that just the emulsion allows your finishing pad to be the abrasive. Yeah, man, you can really fine tune. Like I always told people in SEMA, you got something at 10. Well, now let's take it to 11, and that's what you can do with the Cut Master system.
Yeah, I'm excited to give it a run for sure. Joe, when's the release date on this thing?
So we just missed the shipment that we sent to you guys this week, unfortunately. So we're going to get it on the January. The plan is to get it on the January shipment. Once everyone comes back from the break. So we hate disappointing everyone, probably. But yeah, that's where we're at.
We just want to make sure it's right.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. What is all that? David Boyce, tell us about the mind-blowing rinseless wash. Dilutions are cost savings, correct? So ZNR, tell us a little bit about it.
1 to 1,000. It's a bit of a funny story when we were developing that, trying to get the product to be stable. Naturally, we went initially to the 1 to 250 ratio that everyone else does, and then we discovered that actually at higher concentration, the product was more stable. So I was like, well, that's great. That's a perfect kind of like point of difference. So we went with the 1 in 1,000 concentration.
That's nuts.
And it's economical, but it also helped us get the product to market.
So for dummies like me, 1 to 1,000. What does that mean? Like, am I doing one cap in a whole bucket?
Yep. So whatever if it's one cap, whatever that, I don't know, is it just talking imperial? If one cap is 1 ounce, then that'd be 1,000 ounces of water to that one cap.
Boom. Greg in the chat, waterless over rinseless. Look, Greg.
My mate Greg.
When Greg, you improved.
Greg's got horrible shoes. Greg had horrible shoes at SEMA.
He had the worst shoes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Greg, you get a better trigger, Greg. I'll try out that waterless watch. All right.
Greg's a real one though.
Greg's
He's a hustler. He's a hustler.
Greg, man.
He's a grinder, bro.
Yep. All right. Next up.
Greg's been around as well.
Oh yeah.
He's been around the block.
Greg was the original YouTuber. Like, he was out there back in the day. David Boyce, did you guys shy away from the turtle wax back in the day? What was Ron's thoughts on turtle wax in the early days?
I might have used it back in 1984, 85.
My mom didn't even think about having me in 84.
I remember having a can of the what's it called? The hard shell paste wax. And it was the most disgusting thing like in the world. Like, it was a jelly. You open it, you expect the paste wax, but it's not paste. It's like I don't know what it is. But that would set up
I have a picture.
It was nasty.
I have a picture somewhere, and I think it was 83, 84. My grandfather had a red MG, and I used to go over and clean it for him. And I used that turtle wax, paste wax, and Armor All. Armor All was like, revolutionary at the time, so it had a black vinyl top. And so the black vinyl top was all glistening in the sun with, Armor All over it. And
getting ready to crack it up.
Yep.
Anthony, what was your early day opinion on turtle wax in the early days? Did you ever mess with any of that?
My first experience of turtle wax, I was young. I was young. My brother had a Volkswagen like Rabbit, and it was single stage red. And I used not Turtle Wax, but DuPont. What was that? DuPont number 3 or something like that. But when I started waxing it, you know, obviously I'm pulling paint.
Mm-hmm.
But being as young as I was, I had no clue.
Yeah.
And it just freaked me out. And I ran away.
That's messed up. He let the wax dry.
Yeah, the wax was all over his car. And as I'm starting to take it off, you know, my towel is coming up freaking red. I thought I was doing something good, but yeah, that was my first experience with waxing. I probably was like 14 or 15 years old. I was like a youngin'. But I actually love wax. So
I do too. I do.
Back in the day, I would use melting waxes. So this is, I'm really aging myself here.
No, now you're talking different language. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, with warming waxes or whatever, you would scoop the wax out, and then you would warm it in your palms, and you would melt it, and then you apply it to the paint.
Oh wow!
Hand wax. That's the term, hand wax. You're hand waxing.
Ah,
the
car. Bro, that's when JFK was president.
We've learned some things in this podcast.
You know, for me, and for probably a lot of the detailers here in the comments and everything, is it's a therapeutic kind of thing, right? I've spent as many hours polishing this freaking 1983 Guards Red Porsche or whatever, and now I'm going to, you know, get intimate with it. I'm going to massage the wax.
You know when you know you're a real detailer? You know when you know you're a real detailer when you talk about wax the way you do. I love
the way Anthony just talked about wax.
When you talk about wax the same way I talk about my wife, I'm like, look.
That's right? When you've been doing it since 98.
Yeah, look, guys, just melt it in our hands, and then we massage it into the paint. So yeah.
Bruce wants to know. I'd like to know why they chose to use a syringe as the coating delivering tool versus traditional.
Because it looks like my body, dude. You can't get
it's high solids. It's too thick for those dropper laters, they're called. So we needed a way to make it, you know, other than just pouring it out of a bottle and risk, you know, spilling the whole thing. We got the insert with the syringe, and you can draw it out. You can know exactly how much you're using, But yeah, the reason is because it's too thick to pour through those little attachments that go in the bottle.
Mm-hmm. Chris M wants to know about these sample sizes. Oh, he wants to know, as a DIYer, he'd buy some of the sample sizes. So
can he buy the sample? That's a good idea of your pro stuff. Can he buy sample sizes of your pro stuff?
We don't sell them, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to send you guys a whole bunch to put in your packages for some customers, and you can hand out some freebies. Yeah,
I like that. That would be awesome.
I mean, I don't like the customers that much.
Yeah, I'm about to just send all of them samples to me. But yeah, Joe, we'll put them in the package.
We'll put them in. But when cars start going out with Elite,
yeah,
hey, right? Hey, did you get that sample? Yeah, I did. All 90 of them. I got them right on the show.
Right over there.
Yeah. Anyway, consider it done. I'll arrange a stack of samples.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Send it. You know what we should do is just take the box it up, tape it up, send it to my house.
Yeah. Well, trust the process, Joel. Masters of Shine, can you mix Cut Master with a liquid sealant and make it an all-in-one?
Is that coming out or what?
I can't see. Look, from a technical point of view, that it could work. We'd have to see. Yeah, you'd have to test it and find out. Really,
no, don't do it. And listen, all I hear what I'm hearing right now is that's at your own risk. I am not liable for you.
They're gonna have 365 Pro. They're gonna
mix it in a bottle. Don't do it. Hey, but here's what I want, Joel. You know, since you're in the business of making dreams come true, do you remember when NV Morph was out? Do you remember NV Morph? Do you remember that NV Morph came out to go against Angel Wax Enigma?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden COVID happened and half the world decided to stop making good stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Can you remake NV? Look, you know what? We need to come out with a collab product. The Texans, you, the House of Rags NV morph style of an
That was a
all-in-one.
primer, right?
It was no, it was insane, dude. It cut like a one step, but left behind like 6-month protection, and it was legit 6
Well,
months.
let's ask the Texans. What are y'all thoughts on these all-in-one leave protection behind kind of polishes?
I'm for a shop looking to, make profit and make numbers work.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a no-brainer, as long as your customer knows what it is and what it isn't. That's the whole thing with coatings. Is we'll get a lot of people come into the shop here and they'll go, "Oh, yeah, I want that stuff on my car that
Oh yeah,
stops rock chips." Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about paint protection film. No, the dealer said it was like a ceramic coating. So now you have to educate the customer. Oh,
Nah, you got screwed out of $4,000.
That's
That's what happened. For real, they call it a
$4,000. Yeah.
Hey, we added it to your. They don't even ask you anymore. This is how savage dealerships
No,
are
they
now these
don't.
days.
Yeah, they just add.
They're
that,
like, hey, we added this to your package. It's called a sealant package. I'm gonna take that shit off because I'm not paying $4,000 for a spray on.
It's ridiculous.
Don't worry, Eddie. It's in your financing.
Nah, no.
It's an extra $40 a month for 9 years. Come on.
I didn't get good credit for no reason.
Won't
I'm
even
not gonna
notice
sit there and you honey dick me on putting a sealant on my car that last 2 weeks.
And you're gonna wash it off first wash.
Mhm.
Mike G's looking for NXTZEN in the Christmas Day sales.
Oh, we'll think about it. I might do it tonight. No, I can't do it. Dude, I mean, okay.
We'll think about it, Mike G. We'll think about it. Look,
Done. I'm changing tomorrow's.
NXTZEN in the morning. Be ready. All right, boys. Well, that's all the questions. I think people were just talking about mixing 365 with Cutmaster. I think everybody wants to give Cutmaster a try. That kind of deal. Any words on the way out? This was a fantastic podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I
guys.
just wanted to say
great
to
conversation.
Improved Garage there.
Okay, what's he got? Oh, right here.
Thank you.
You sent him some
Too
samples.
drunk.
Yeah.
Anthony, well, I thought you were going to say something. I'm waiting for you. I'm like this.
Oh, I said. I'm sorry. What? I'm reading.
That,
I'm reading the comments.
bro, that bourbon hit you different because I'm like, what's he going to?
What's it called?
What are you
What's
going
it
to say?
called? I don't
The
remember what
horse,
it's called. The
horse legs.
That stuff hits hard after about an hour, 17 minutes.
Dude,
all right.
that hit you
Horse
different.
soldier. Good stuff.
Horse soldier.
You
It's
started
hitting
talking different. You were like, hey, I got to talk to
You said,
Rod.
Yeah, I was answering Improved Garage. He said it was great meeting you at SEMA. So it was
Jeff got
great,
samples.
great meeting everyone at SEMA. It was a great experience.
There you go,
Until
Ron.
Anthony gets really drunk and starts talking like the guy at 7-Eleven.
Ron, you got anything on the way out, sir?
Actually, when I get drunk, I sound just like Joel.
All right, we got to get these guys out of here. Look, they got to go home. Joe, Ron, Anthony, it was a blast. If you don't believe in NXTZEN now, I mean, these guys, the OGs, they've been through it. All right, the original coatings to now, it's the real deal. So I can't wait to get the new consumer grade coating, and in the future the Cutmaster system. We're gonna from there we'll get those samples from you, start sending them out in packages. So I'm super pumped to have NXTZEN in the house. So Eddie, got anything?
I'm gonna tell you right now. The people ask for it. I'm gonna do it. I'm working on this
He's
email for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, NXTZEN. Be ready. Get you some 365 Pro.
And if I put it on sale, no one buys it. I'm never talking to you again.
Look, tell your mama, your uncle, everybody. NXTZEN's on sale. Get ready. So that's all we got. Yep, that's all we got, everybody. We'll see you.
Hey,
Anthony's
one last thing. Here's a maybe for your podcast. Between two buffers.
And that's all we got for tonight.